Welcome back to another episode of the Coffee Break Podcast. I'm your host, Slim. These are my bros.
Jama.
Mukhtar.
And we have another heater for you guys today. I know you guys like the last one. I know you guys are trying to come at my bro, but settle down, guys. Settle down, all right? Just settle down. We have some heat for you guys today. We want your opinions as usual. There's going to be a poll in the post somewhere, so we want your opinions, guys.
Yeah, the last post got 2,500 votes.
Eesh.
All against you. All of them against. I think the percentage is like
We're gathering data.
57%.
Damn, we're gathering
against
data,
you.
bro.
Yeah.
And then the rest was with me. But you know,
It's all good, bro. It's all
it
facts.
is what it is.
All stats.
I love
for
how you said
data.
the rest is against you.
43. I can say the math. I know the math, fam.
Yo, when we create our graph somewhere down the line, fam, those numbers are gonna be needed. Fam.
It's gonna be
Trust
needed.
me.
I got you.
Trust
I got you.
All right, so today we're going into the same kind of territory. Let me just preface by saying, but very, very realistic scenario I have for you guys here today. Okay.
Okay. Let me hear.
So the title starts with, "Am I the asshole for refusing to take paternity leave when my wife just had our baby?"
Oh man.
Right off bat, it really just like from the title itself, he's basically saying, "Hold that baby."
Off the
His
bat,
wife, yeah,
I think he's wrong.
right off bat.
Right off bat,
Off the bat, why?
because you should support your wife during this time.
Well, right now we're open for interpretation. 'cause
Yeah,
they
that's
could
why I
be
said
broke.
right off the bat.
Right off bat, yeah.
So I don't know context.
I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. They
Okay.
could be broke and they
Fair
could
enough. Good point. I never
Well,
thought of it.
maternity
Good
leave
point.
is paid.
Come on now, huh?
You get paid for it though.
Maternity leave is paid.
Yeah.
Well, let's hear the story. Let's hear the
Let's
story.
hear it,
Okay.
exactly.
You
Don't
don't know
make me
how-
go
you
off.
don't even know
Don't
how-
worry,
Don't make me go off.
It's all good. It's all good. Don't worry.
This guy thinks he's off work.
It's all good, bro. Don't worry. We're gonna learn. We're gonna learn together. Okay.
All right, go ahead.
So, okay, my 34 male wife, 31 female, gave birth to our first child a few weeks ago via C-section.
Okay.
She's doing okay, but still in recovery. We both work full time, but I'm in a very competitive industry, and taking time off right now would seriously impact my standing. We're in the middle of a critical project, and I'm up for a promotion. My company offers 4 weeks paid paternity leave. But I told my wife I won't be taking it. I can help when I'm home, and I've offered to pay extra for help, a night nurse, a house cleaner, food delivery, whatever she needs. But she is still furious and says that I'm abandoning her when she's most vulnerable and that she didn't sign up to do this alone. She keeps bringing up how she physically can't do certain things yet and says this is more about partnership than money. I said I'm trying to secure our future and that me taking leave right now might jeopardize that. She called me selfish and said I don't see how this is a big deal. And she'll remember this forever. My friends are very split.
Forever.
As she said, bro. My friends are very split. Some say she's right and I'm being emotionally distant. Others say I'm being practical and she's not thinking very long term. So Reddit, am I the asshole?
That's tough.
Do you know what I don't like though?
What?
He wrote it in a manner of, this is why she's right and this is why I'm an asshole. Instead of writing out, this is why I could be right. There's potential of me being right. I don't like how he wrote it.
Well,
So
he did mention, he said he's up for a promotion and
Yeah.
he thinks that leaving or taking leave right now would jeopardize that, and he's trying to secure their long-term future, quote unquote. Those are his reasons.
I see both their sides, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. I see her side where it's kind of like, I've been carrying this baby for 9 months.
Mm.
And the least that you can do for me is stay with me for the 4 weeks that you're going to be paid for. And then his side is like, I see a plan for our future, Like, do you not want us to get a bigger home, a better X, Y, and Z, a car? Do you not want to be provided for the way that you deserve to be, And then she's like, that doesn't even matter. I'd rather you be here. And I think that's the key to this, where it's kind of like, I feel like he is trying to provide something that she's not really asking for. She's okay with where they're at the moment. What she requires right now is connection and belonging to him. You know what I mean? Like, I need you right now. I don't need you to be at work. I don't need you to do all these things that you think I need. What I do need is for you to support me right now.
What does that support look like?
Like, be here, like, be part of this for the next 4 weeks. I know you have to go back to work, but 4 weeks while the baby is new, this is a new experience for me too.
But let me push back, because he mentioned on the actual post itself, he says, and I'll read it back. He says, he says, I can help when I'm home, and I've offered to pay for extra help, a night nurse, house cleaner, food delivery, whatever she needs.
True, but
So he's saying, I'm going to expense the stuff that I would be doing for you at home while I work.
I get it. And probably it would work out that way. But what I'm trying to say is maybe what she's looking for is just that connection during that time. There's probably something that she can't ask a random stranger, you know? There's probably some things that she'd rather him do than a random person that she just met yesterday, you know? Like, this is a point where she's super vulnerable. She's probably going through some postpartum stuff. Like, she is going through it, you know? And I don't think the answer is to provide more services that she doesn't need. I think what she needs is him. You know what I mean? I get where you're coming from. Where it's kind of like, I can pay somebody to do it. What do you need me for? But honestly speaking, I honestly think like maybe what she just needs is his support, not necessarily another person, not
Like just
exactly
him
paid
physically
support.
being
Yeah, him being there. Sometimes,
But that's the ask here. I mean, she's asking him for that, right?
Mhm.
Essentially. And he's saying, in me doing that, I'm taking away from the position we could potentially be in.
that's the point I'm trying to make, though. I don't think he cares for that. Like, I think he's trying to build a future that she doesn't necessarily value. You know what I mean?
That's
So,
a conversation, though.
which is true. I'm not
Yeah.
saying it's not, but I don't think where their dreams are headed is aligned. Because she's like, I take this parenthood thing more seriously, and you take this promotion thing more seriously. You know? But at the moment, even if it could sacrifice or it could get in the way of what you need,
Well, both
I'd
are
rather us
necessary.
be towards this.
We can agree both are necessary here, right?
A promotion is not really necessary
Well, I mean,
for this
It
situation.
is necessary if we can take that next leap.
For this situation, it's not really that necessary. Because
why not, though? Why not?
It's from what it sounds like.
Yeah,
They're good money wise. From what it sounds, because he's providing all these services, right?
but they could be much better.
True.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is his fear is that this may not ever present itself again.
Right.
You know? But what's scarier for me is, what if I'm not here for my wife and our relationship crumbles because of some stupid promotion that I may or may not have gotten, and now I lost my wife, and now I have a promotion for something I don't really need anymore.
You kind of lost me there. I'm not gonna lie, because
Why?
where it's not a stupid promotion, fam. This is their life. This is their future. You know, he's thinking
It's
I'm gonna
stupid in context of what's more valuable to me in the moment.
No, I don't think so. I think that's a conversation to be had, but I think both of their intentions are in great places for their sake of.
I'm not saying it's not.
Yeah.
But I think what he's doing is he's like, I need to provide more for my family in the future. Nigga, what about right now?
Yeah, but let's say, okay, the way I'm thinking about it is, I'm looking at it in the sense of put in the hard work now so you don't have to later, you know?
Mhm.
Work hard now while my kids are young and my family's still, developing. And then when I've established myself, I can probably be more present. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of like I think that's the logical way of thinking about the situation. If you're the guy in this scenario, you're thinking, let me try and put in some hard work now
Mhm.
so that I can get myself in a comfortable position so I don't have to put in this hard work, right?
I don't disagree with you, fam. But what I'm trying to say is there's importance here.
Right.
My wife is more important than this promotion. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right, but like
And I'm not changing that thought process.
I
If
get
she
that.
needs me, I will take a step back and be like, I don't need this promotion right now.
Right.
And then I'll look for something in the later.
But it's the way it's coming across is as if he's leaving, like, for a long, long
He's
period
leaving
of time.
for 4 weeks.
No, the
Did they say that?
paternity leave is 4 weeks.
No,
Paternity leave is
4 weeks paid.
Yeah.
He's only going to be gone for 4 weeks.
No, but
He's not physically
he's not
leaving.
leaving
coming
to
home
go,
every
like
night.
he's gonna come home every night. Like he's not.
But
leaving.
it doesn't matter, because if you're gone for
That matters.
there's in the story it also said that there's a lot of things that she can't do on her own.
Yeah, but he's gonna hire help for that.
Maybe that's not what she wants.
Then that's kind of the conflict in this story here. It's like
I don't
it
really
has to
see
be
it as a conflict,
specific.
though.
If it has to be specifically him doing like the chores and stuff around the
Yeah.
house because she finds that like more comforting.
Yeah.
As opposed to the guy working and making significantly more money for the family to live more prosperously.
Okay.
Then that's direct conflict. They need to have that conversation. Both people are valuing different things here, and one is not bigger than the other in each other's eyes. Does that make sense?
No.
So I feel like
disagree.
that's
I
the
disagree.
conflict, but
Yeah.
they need to come up with a resolution so both factors can be met here.
So are
I
you saying
I
he should
disagree
be
with that.
going to work and he should? You agree with him?
I'm
when he
more so
said
aligned
this?
with the guy's thinking
Mhm.
here because he's thinking, okay, I'm going to get everything she needs done, cared for her. I'm going to still kind of be there, on a day-to-day basis, whether it's after work or
Mhm.
before work, prior to work, and stuff like that. And the added tidbit here that I'm thinking is he's going to be making significantly more so that he doesn't have to be doing this down
Okay.
the line, you know? Because I feel
Okay.
like the formidable years of your kids are probably more important.
But
You know
it's
what I mean?
not the only thing I agree with him.
Okay.
And initially I was thinking there's certain things you need your man to do,
Right.
such as the women's, their ankles get swollen up and they may need a massage. You don't want someone stranger to come touch your wife.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Those physical ailments are there.
Fair
That
enough.
you need your husband physically
100%.
there.
I'm not disagreeing with any of that. 100%.
Yeah.
The man will be necessary in raising his child. 100%. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm
No,
just
but supporting that's the example of supporting his wife.
Right. 100%. I'm not saying that what she's asking for is not needed. It's 100% needed. I just think that there needs to be a conversation here between the man and the woman on what they align in terms of like values. You know what I mean? Because like obviously the kid needs a father and a mother, but the family needs a significant amount of financial increase too to get to where they want to. They have a plan, right? Or at least the guy has a plan. So how can we address both these things without stepping on each other? That's kind of my question here.
Okay.
Because I don't think it should be directly the guy stays from work and doesn't or takes paternity leave, and I don't think it should be directly he doesn't. We have to meet in the middle somewhere. So how can we get there? That's my question here.
I don't think there's she's asking for 1 month. They're asking for,
Yeah.
and potentially, let's say it hinders him at work for a little bit,
Right.
but you are there to support that first month of still. What was that postpartum?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The emotional turmoil that she's going with, the physical turmoil that she's going with, mental.
Let me just preface
All
this
that
by-
could.
Go ahead.
If you're not there for that first month and she's going through all that,
Right.
I do agree it may cause a bigger crack in the relationship.
100%. I'm not disagreeing with that. I just don't think that he's going to be as absent as we're making it seem to be here.
But what if the help is required during those hours that you are at work? And then now you just look like you're
that's the conflict.
neglecting your wife.
That's the issue here.
I don't think the problem is throwing money at it. I don't think that's the solution, because that's what it sounds like he's doing. So, let me throw 2,000 here, 4,000 here. I'll get you the support you need.
But it helps.
But what she's asking for is actual support by her husband. You feel me?
I understand that, but I just don't like it needs to sound necessary, more necessary to me.
No.
How could it
That
be
makes
more
sense.
necessary than your wife going through a situation like that?
Because like the way I'm thinking about it here is like, can we insert something into this scenario to make it better? You know, like obviously this is a story. We don't know these people, right?
Yeah.
Do they have extended family members? You know, like do they have people that they can rely on in these times to help support them? You know, like is the guy able to work from home? You know, like these are the compromises I feel like we need to be having.
I see your point. What I want to ask you now is, if you were in this situation, right, and you and your wife just had a child, and you're in the same scenario as him, and your wife asked you, hey, I need you to stay home for a month.
I personally,
what would you say?
If you're asking me,
I want to know. I want to know.
I personally would take the maternity leave, but not specifically based off the story, like the context of the story. I think it's important for me, from my personal experience, me being Muhammad Ali, to be a part of my first child's, you know, like birth, you know, like the first bit of it. I think that's very valuable to me. And I don't think that some kind of job or whatever I'm doing at the time is going to take precedent.
Even if it might take away from your promotion?
Even if it, to me, I think time is the most valuable currency.
I agree.
And the time we have with our children at that time is going to be the most valuable than any amount of bread that I could possibly make. So for me personally, I would take the maternity leave. I'm just trying to understand the thinking of, we have a significant amount of, or we could be in potentially a better position for our family down the line.
Mm-hmm.
So can we make sacrifices here to get to where we want to be down the line? That's kind of the thinking that I'm kind of following here.
That's the decision before you guys have a youth.
100%. That's why I feel like, you know, this is a little bit, like, these stories that we read on this show obviously are like in the midst of the fire, right?
Yeah.
You know, like the fire can be prevented in most of these kind of scenarios. But I feel like when we're in the midst of it, we need to figure out how can we solve this problem.
I understand that. And that, of course, we can't make the decision beforehand for them. But now you guys have a child.
Right.
This is how can we support each other mentally.
Right.
That's where the promotion doesn't really that much. If the woman's going through so much mentally.
Right.
That she needs, her mother is going to do so much for her.
That's what I'm saying.
Her family's going to do so much for her. But their presence may bother her more than her man being there and her man supporting her, because
I agree.
And her made that baby together.
I agree. 100%.
Now you're going to leave for all that mental turmoil on her and try to go back to work. It's tough.
I mean, for 8 hours. For 8 hours.
For 8 hours. But if you're going for a promotion, chances are you're putting in more effort than ever.
Yeah.
So you're probably working 9, 10.
Well, if I just had
11.
a baby, I mean, I can't be putting in the extra hours.
But if you go the route of I'm staying at work
Mhm.
and I'm trying to get this promotion, why would you half-ass it?
Well, personally, I don't believe in working after 5 p.m.
Well, I agree with
That's
that. I totally
that's-
agree. In fact, I close my laptop.
My brain turns off after 5 p.m. I don't give a fuck if there could be all hell breaking loose. I don't give a fuck.
But if it sounds like a competitive thing,
Yeah, it is
right?
you
So
did say
you
it's
probably
competitive
have to
industry.
put in just as much effort, if not more, than the people around you who are trying to go for the same promotion.
Okay, let me throw you guys like a random comparison.
Okay.
NBA players, right?
Ooh, okay.
NBA players are rich as fuck. You know, they make multi-millions of dollars
Yeah,
and they have kids like no other, right?
Yeah.
So they often get into these situations. I would like to assume where their partner or their wife or whatever has a baby and
Yeah.
their husband is a traveling athlete that
Mhm.
is, you know, committed to his role as an
Yeah.
NBA player, right? So they have to deal with the postpartum majority of the time by
But
themselves.
Rudy Gobert
you know?
took a playoff game last year just to go
And got clowned for it.
He doesn't matter. I
And
don't
got
think his
clowned
wife
for it.
clowned him. I don't think his family clowned
No,
him.
I 100%. I agree. I'm all
Yeah.
for acts like that. I'm not against acts like
They
that.
clowned him regardless though, at the same time too.
It is Rudy though, man.
Yeah.
He touched the mics, man.
I don't think that scenario is comparable
Why not?
because
Break it down.
as a basketball player, that is your job. You have to go to city, play in different places in the United States, even go to Canada. It's part of the job description.
Mhm.
Compared to if you were working at some top 50 company, probably an office worker, you
Yeah, but it
have
comes back
the
down-
option.
It comes back down to salary at the end of the day, right? Those NBA players, if they weren't making multi-millions, if those NBA
different, though.
players were making 100 bands,
Yeah.
they would take the maternity leave, right? Majority of them.
No, it's. I don't believe so because
But since they're making significantly
what
more,
guy do you know? What NBA player has ever taken a month to 2 months off in order to attend for his pregnant wife or a child?
not a month,
It's never happened.
because the money's too much, fam.
No, but it's
money
it's
is
like
too
it's
much.
expected of you that you have to play.
Because of the bread.
The Rudy Gobert thing is probably an outlier.
Because of the
I don't
bread.
hear about that often.
There's a couple guys.
Okay,
it
yeah,
comes-
outlier. Like what, out
It
of
comes
the
down to the money that they're getting, right?
Yeah.
If they were making 50, 60 bands a year, majority of them would say, fuck basketball, I'm going to take care of my kid, right? But since they're making 500
not
million,
necessarily.
you know,
They have
I
the
don't
only
think
thing
so,
is
bro.
they have the choice to hop on a jet and go back to whatever city she's at and then come back to the team.
right?
A lot of people don't have that. They're
Well, that's
speed
what,
through traffic.
see, that's a great example because
Yeah.
those are the types of compromises I feel like people need to take in these types of situations. Obviously, they do hurt the family dynamic. You know,
Yeah.
obviously, a man and a woman should be together, raising their kids together, right? But I feel like those are the compromises that people make when they're in positions of like financial success.
But the
quote
only
unquote.
thing is, for the basketball player, they play that one game. They have a couple back to backs, but they play that one game and they're off like 2 days.
Right.
So you spend that 2 days with your wife, then go hop on with the team bus again and go wherever else, then to come back for like 3 days.
Yeah, like a part-time.
Yeah, you're not
part-time role.
there like 40 to however much hours a week.
That's fair. I mean, at the end of the day, it's more so just only reason why I brought this comparison up is because it's the same kind of thinking of part-time role for being a parent or like a new parent, right? But the reason why they're doing that part-time is because their financial incentive is so high
Yeah.
that they wouldn't even think twice. You know what I mean?
I agree, but at the same time, in that situation, I'm pretty sure I'm not the woman in that situation. I don't know. I'm pretty sure they know what they're getting themselves into.
Yeah.
They know that their husband or their partner has to be out for 82 games of the year. You feel me? Like it's pretty set in stone that you are aware of the circumstances that you're getting yourself into.
But why though? But why? Because they're getting paid all that
True,
money, right?
but I think that's specific to the specific role.
And to counterpoint that
It's
too, Ben
different.
Simmons was missing games for absolutely no reason.
That's a different type of
Record-breaking
guy.
losses in
That's- yo,
contract salary.
That is not comparable.
Yeah, we-
No,
That is not comparable.
I'm saying if the players care strongly enough,
Yeah.
they won't commit to the
But
actual.
he didn't do his job. Like
Yeah.
it's a little different because
He
that
said-
guy was just like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
Compared to Rudy Gobert, who took a day off, who took the slack, who took the criticism.
No, I'm saying
for
you
attending to
can,
his
but
wife.
the consequences are much more severe. Is basically what I'm saying.
Yeah, which
You
is true. But look, think about it like this: what Ben Simmons did at the time, he probably had like $100 million contract, right? If he ever signs again, he's probably getting the bare minimum vet, you know. So for the decisions that he made, to your point,
Yeah.
he's not going to he now will not get a future salary boost like that.
That is true.
You feel me?
But
So that's the
that also comes
consequences
back
of
to
what
the
he
fact
did.
that he's ass.
I don't-
If he was still nice, he probably would get that contract.
We can wrap this one up.
But fair
Just
enough.
final statements.
Okay, final statements.
Final statements, fam. If
is he the asshole?
Let me get to. I have a roundabout. way to say it. I have a
okay.
roundabout way to say it.
God.
Look at the camera.
Say there.
If my wife was pregnant, and I was working full time with the idea of a promotion coming and all this mumbo jumbo, and they're trying to sell me a stories,
Stories.
you know. And if she gave birth and she's like, "I need you home with me,"
Home.
you know what I would do, fam?
What would you do?
You're
I'm
quitting
staying at home.
You're quitting your job.
No, I'm not quitting.
I thought this is where they were headed.
I need support for the family.
Well, I thought this was I really dead ass thought that's where this was headed.
No, I thought that too.
So
The
like,
buildup was there.
Yeah, the
I
buildup was
need
there.
to support with, but what I'm saying is, on a serious note, if my wife said, "I need you right now," I know this might get in the way of a promotion that you might want, or this might get in the way of X, Y, and Z. There is nothing that I put higher than my family, and what in my family is my wife and my newly born child. And if she says she needs me, fam, at the cost of what could be a promotion, I will stay home, because you know what? That's more important to me. I'd rather be 80 years old and know that the decisions I made as a younger person kept my family together over thinking a couple thousands of dollars will do better for me in the long run. You feel me?
Can I paint you a really quick scenario and
Go
you just
ahead.
give me a yes or no?
I just love what I
Your
said.
wife
though.
just
Go
had a
ahead.
baby,
Yeah.
postpartum,
He's stepping on it.
first week.
Start again. I want this to be a
Your
clip.
wife just had a baby, postpartum, first week. You have an opportunity to go fly halfway across the world and secure a $5 million bag for a month. One-time opportunity. Do you take it?
100%.
How about you?
That's a little different.
No, hold on. No.
It's a little different.
Before you get into that, how about you?
How long will we be gone for?
A
Come
month.
on.
5 million?
5
And
million.
she just had the you?
Just had to you.
And I don't make 5 million all the time, right?
Don't make 5 million.
What is my normal salary?
That's the question.
Let's
Yeah.
say 100 bands.
Yeah, I'll do 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
you have to. Yeah,
So you guys do have a price point.
yeah.
Got you. That's all I need to know.
Yeah.
That's all I need to know.
No,
What
because
you're saying sounds so great, but when I threw a price tag at you, it threw all out
it's
the window.
different though. It's different.
But you said 5 million for a month.
5 million. If I'm making 100,000,
You're making it seem like there's no money that can take you off that.
because when you're talking promotion, fam,
Yeah.
that's probably a 25% boost. If I had 100,000, I'm probably gonna get 125,000.
See, that's the difference.
Let's say even I
That's
get
the difference.
100% boost.
That's the
Let's say
difference between me and you,
200,000.
fam.
What?
I shoot for the stars.
Well, you want $1 million?
I'm getting them.
You're gonna go from 100,000 to $1 million?
I'm getting it, inshallah.
Okay, come on.
Inshallah.
Come on.
Irado.
But that's different.
Imana.
Because I'm sure
Subtitles.
that 5 million is justifiable. You feel me? Like, and if she doesn't agree, I would still be a conversation. I'm not gonna like just go. But if she doesn't agree, I'd still be like, bro, we could be set for life.
So you see my
Compared to
thinking.
me still working,
So you see my thinking though, at least. Painting you that
if
scenario.
the money is great enough,
Right.
I see your point.
That's the only thing
But
that I'm
if
thinking
I'm
of.
working corporate, fam, and the increase is
No. Forget about all that.
I'm
If
gonna
the
be
money
right?
is right,
Yeah.
you said if the money is right, what?
it could happen.
That's the only thing that.
If the money's right.
that's the
But
only.
what are the chances they offer me that?
No. There's no other variable here. See what you're going into next about being corporate and having a salary increase in 25. That never entered my brain once.
Okay.
The first thing that entered my brain is a long-term success in terms of finances. My mind, that's not your average couple $100,000. That's not
Well,
your
you give
average.
me a long shot. You
That's
give
what I'm
me a
saying.
long
I'm
shot.
thinking. I'm shooting for the stars in my head.
You give me a
interrupt?
long shot.
Go ahead.
The only thing I would say is the difference between the scenario you were speaking about earlier, and this 5 million 1 month thing. You can tell your wife the end of the road's right there. We just have to make it for the 1 month. This promotion that this guy's fighting for, the end is not there within
Okay.
sight.
So I 100% understand your guys' reasonings here, but it comes back to the price tag is not big enough.
Sure.
That's fine. I'm
But the
okay.
end of-
okay.
I'm
Let's say
okay with that. I'm 100%
5
okay
million
with
for
that.
1 month is sensible discussion points.
Yeah.
The promotion with no end in sight is not something you can
Got you.
build.
So the
something
price
like
tag's not there.
that. The timestamp is not there.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you. Got you.
All right, we
This,
can
guy,
end this.
this guy's so
Yeah.
proud that he found the loophole.
I got you. No, because I have to understand. Like I'm not crazy for saying this, right?
You're not, but it has to be justifiable.
100%.
Which is
That's where we came to the conclusion.
when
So
9
who's the
episodes at a
asshole?
time. The asshole is the guy.
I think I 100%. I agree that the asshole is the guy in this story.
Okay, and we all
100%.
agree. There we go.
But yo, tell us what you guys think. Who's the asshole? Do you guys align with my thinking? Do you guys think that there's a price tag on these types of scenarios? Let us know in the comments below. Don't be shy.
My guy said, "Don't be shy."
Don't be shy.